Oh, man. Oh, my God. It's like a 10-punch combo from Max.
So Max Holloway was great at volume striking. He's relentless. When he smells blood, he's just going to keep attacking you. And he has this crazy gas tank that allows him to continue and land shot after shot. Now, how does one be able to use volume striking in a fight? Now, this is more of a style. It's a stylistic approach to fighting. There are different styles. You have counter punchers or counter strikers, you have volume strikers, you have heavy hitters, and so on. So his style of fighting suits him, but we still can learn from it and we can still learn how to use it, especially in moments. Now, myself, I'm not particularly a volume striker, but I will use it for different opportunities. I'm more of a counter puncher, but once I know I've landed some good counters, then I'll start opening up with more high volume combos. So let's practice that today, and let's learn how we can use the Max Holloway approach to volume striking. Now, the first key when you're doing volume striking, you need to have good stamina, good endurance. But what helps the most, even if you don't have the best endurance, is you want to use a pace that you can maintain. So even if you're not the fastest or you don't have the best gas tank rather when you're throwing punches or strikes, you want to be able to maintain a certain pace that you can keep going. So the best way to practice that, you can start practicing at a certain percentage that you feel you can maintain. So if I'm going to start working on my target here, I'm going to just throw some volume that I know I can maintain. And you try to practice that. Try to see how long you can go, even if it's stationary, and just continuously throw volume strikes. And if you're in MMA, incorporate the kicks, just non-stop striking, but a pace that you can maintain, mix in your different ranges, and so on. Now, for me, my best percentage, so if we go at from 0 to 100, 0 being nothing, doing nothing, and 100 being your biggest, heaviest knockout shot, you try to find where you feel you can maintain something where you can last non-stop without getting too tired for about a minute. In my case, where I want to land some solid shots, so I don't want to be below 50% because then my damage won't be too high, but I want to be somewhere above that. For me, my ideal pace is somewhere between 65 and 75% intensity where I can put it on for quite a bit. 75 might be pushing it, but within that range, at least in training, would be your best bet, at least for me. But you have to find out your personal best where you can use your volume striking. So you start doing that and you do that in sets. So this sounds more like a conditioning exercise. You do need some conditioning to be able to do it. Otherwise, you won't be able to apply volume striking, especially if you're going to start sparring real training partners. So you want to be able to last at least a minute at a certain pace non-stop and then see where you can go from there. Now, once you're able to do that minute and do it in sets, so try to do 3+ sets. So 3, 5, and if you're advanced, up to 10. Try to make sure you're able to do that pace where you can maintain, again, that 65 to 75% intensity range and then play with that. Now, next step is being able to use your different strikes. Now, Max Holloway is an MMA fighter, but he has arguably the best hands in MMA, or at least one of the best hands in MMA. So he sticks to mostly boxing, at least in terms of MMA boxing. Since we're focusing on Max Holloway, we'll do more punches than anything else, but you still want to be able to mix in your other strikes when you're throwing volume striking, because that will open up opportunities for your heavier punches. Now, what he does really well, just like other really high volume strikers do, is he's able to mix up the tempo. He can go with almost pitter-patter shots where they're light and then land one heavy shot when he sees the opportunity. So that's what we're going to work on now. We're going to try to mix in the tempo. Now that we know how to do 65 to 75% intensity, we're going to try to keep it at around a 65% rate, then increase it to an 85 to maybe even 100 for some people for a heavy shot. So we'll look something like this, where you're throwing some pitter-patter shots, and then at a certain point, boom, you hit a heavy shot. Mix it in. You go for a heavy shot. Play with different ranges. Just pitter-patter shots, something at about your lower intensity but continuous. Find your shot, then you land a big shot. Those are the ones that are going to really hurt, but what allowed you to land those heavy shots were those little shots that end up being more distracting for your opponent. Then you land the big shot. Now, the next step, and very crucial, is you want to be able to move. Max Holloway is never static. He's moving. He'll move laterally. He'll find his openings. But it's not so much that he moves frantically. He moves in a way that stalks his opponent. He will cut them off. So you want to be able to move laterally and shift in a way where you can make yourself a harder person to defend against. So when you're training solo, very hard to do it on a target, but you can still practice the movement. Again, with my buddy here, Bobby, I have a little bit of an obstacle here, so I can use that to my advantage in terms of training and make it part of my training, where I try to bypass the arms as I'm moving around, and I use that as a target where I try to work around my target from here. But I'm trying to shift, I'm trying to work off of my angles, so that way I stay dynamic like I would in a real fight. And then you can test it out in sparring and see how that goes. And remember, focus on these things. Focus on low intensity striking, but at a rate that you can keep up. Then you start mixing in the heavy shots for opportunity, and then make sure you add in the lateral movement, shifting, vision that you're stalking your opponent like they're your prey, just like Max Holloway would. So that completes my video on being able to copy what Max Holloway would do. And if you like this video and you'd like to see more material like this, please don't forget to hit subscribe, follow this channel, hit that notification bell, and like this video, and you'll see more content just like this. And if there's anybody you'd like me to cover, whether it's a real fighter or even fictional, that you would like me to copy using my copycat system, leave their name in the comment, and I'll do my best to show you how you can move like them. See you next time.